fans, and welcome to another edition of the Ragin Marks Wrestling Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ravishing Randy, joined as always by my good buddy Ramsey.
What's going
Rampage,
on?
what's going on, brother?
Not much. Just a warm day here in South Carolina.
Warm day down here too. You wouldn't think that a little over a week ago it snowed here in New Orleans. Not just snowed, like 10 to 12 inches of snow. Crazy.
Yeah, that was like it was crazy because the parents at the schools were like, "Ain't you from New Orleans?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Ain't that crazy?" I'm like, "I know. I come here. We barely get any snow. We got snow, but nothing like you guys did. But then all you guys done. I see that. I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, missed that. So I'm like, damn.
That's what you get for leaving, man. That's what you get for leaving.
But also too, if I was still down there and I was still working as a pharmacy tech, I would have to be at work because I live the closest one to the freaking store, so I would have to be like I would be there
Yeah.
all day. So like one good thing, one bad thing. But eh, I I I see snow in my future, somewhere in Indiana or here sometime because it does snow here quite a while, but this year not that much.
Damn you, global warming.
But damn it, look. But here's the thing: if there's like one snowflake, schools, the whole city shuts down. It's done. Like one snowflake. Oh, school's canceled tomorrow. I'm like, God damn. These kids already got like to make up like four days already. Three ice and snow storm days and one hurricane day. I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, like, legitimately, anytime there's any kind of like a snow event or freeze down here, yeah, no, everything shuts down. So,
Yeah, it was funny because I'm able to watch like the local news in New Orleans over here, and I'm like, I see like them. I see the street sweepers that for the Mardi Gras that goes behind the floats, scraping the snow. I'm like, oh, that's a smart idea. I'm like, good thing New Orleans has that, because if not, there would have been no snow plows, nothing.
I mean, well, even with that though, it was kind of like touch and go because like yeah, they don't just have like the street cleaner sweepers, they also have in a sense almost like mini bulldozers that like after Mardi Gras, like literally at like
Moves the trash.
12:01 when they do the procession down Bourbon Street, they literally have the bulldozers come down, sweep up all the trash. Like they basically had to do that with a lot of the streets with the snow. It was just
Yeah,
crazy.
that's saying like a lot of cities down there, down south, don't have the snow plows or nothing, but they got the trash plows down there,
Yeah.
so it works. I got caught behind a fucking assault truck on the highway, and it literally could not see out of my windshield. Because right when I turned to put on the liquid to put in the windshield wiper fluid, it's out. I was like, crap. I'm like sitting there trying to bring the kid to the doctor. I'm like, I had to do like Ace Ventura, like look out the fucking window, going down the. It was it's crazy, but hopefully the harsh winter is done. I hope.
No, because like if you're familiar with New Orleans weather, it's like you have like fake fall, and then return of summer, and then faux fall too, and then return to like ridiculously hot conditions, and then when it comes to winter. It's like funny working in hotels. I had somebody that called up the other day. It's like, oh hey, I'm going to be staying with y'all at the end of February. How should I pack? Like, what's the weather going to be like?
Pack for everything.
I'm literally like,
Mm.
She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, it's like I literally I had to break it down for her. It was like just a week ago, it snowed. It snowed here in New Orleans. Today, it's 66 degrees. It's like literally our winters. It's like it could be freezing, rigidly cold one week, and then mid to low 60s the very next. It's like you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, and then of course I'm supposed to be down there in 2 days for the Royal Rumble and for Super Bowl week, and it is crazy that it's going to be hot. Like I had to repack my bag. I'm like, well, I guess I need to put some shorts in there. I need some short sleeve shirts. I'm like, I bring I'll bring two hoodies. I'm like, damn, this
Yeah,
is
you gotta prepare for every such occasion, you know? But you said the magic word. As we record this, it is the week of the Royal Rumble, and, we'll actually go ahead and talk about the premium live event a little later on, but you actually took it upon yourself because you knew how crazy my schedule was down here, you know, working in hotels. And with this week being the Super Bowl, or like with next week being the Super Bowl, but just basically this is a home stretch before the big game and how crazy it is on my end down here. You took it upon yourself to put together a little something, something to kind of ooh and ah me and the fan base. So, what
so
what'd you put together, Ramsey?
so a long time ago. We started like when we were doing the podcast, just the audio version of it. I would come up with these slideshows of like we did like our our, our Ragin Marks Royal Rumble, and we had like I had like animated thing on a slideshow. Um, so I was like, well, let's do this. Now I try to do it as good as I did. I'm on Google Slides, not on Microsoft uh, PowerPoint, which is totally fucking different. Which I will go back and start paying back to get back on there.
Yeah.
But it's I kind of similarly do it. So I have my little script. It's gonna be we're not gonna go in detail too much about like what's going on in the ring. Only certain parts will come in there. You have no clue what's going on. He has not seen like the final script. He just viewed. I just gave him the list of the entrance number because what I did is I randomized. I'm not going to explain, but I randomized twice the entrance on how they come and go. So this is basically it's just 30 heels. It's our 30 favorite heels on this program, and we put them in there. And earlier you told me goes whoever's the winner of this needs to be retired from future, and that would be play. I think it's kind of like I agree with that. And starting our next time we do this, our past winners will not be on there.
So for emphasis, we've done kind of like we've done heels episode twice.
Yes.
And we done it like March Madness style where we literally had the brackets and we went down the list. And I believe that the first go around that we did it, the $1 million Man won.
Yep.
And then the second time that we did it, Raven came out the victor.
Yep.
Um, this version, spoiler alert, both of those wrestlers are going to be in this heel Royal Rumble. But yeah, no, it's just like to keep it fresh, keep it interesting, so that we don't necessarily have the same winner every time we go through and we do this.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like, you know, we retire them and then we give the crown to somebody new. So
And I said it kind of needs a little injection of newness because coming up. There's so many new heels, and this is a list that we both put together. Um,
there were a few names that I threw out there that ended up not making the list that I kind of felt passionately about, but based off of the 30 names that we have here, I was like, I'm okay rolling with this.
yeah, and I guess like when we say the name, we can probably say why. If you want to like inject be like why you think he should be here or who maybe he shouldn't be there, just do a little injection there. But
Yeah.
we can we can go and we can start this because let's start this. Like we got our little Raging Marks little ring. Our logos are four goal goalposts,
Turnbuckles.
turnbuckles. But our first uh, our first entrance into this is Bully Ray. And it's basically if you think about back in ECW how the um, the Dudley's family was a big heel, but this is mostly TNA. This goes out to Kurt.
Hmm.
This is a TNA nod, which is there's a plenty of them in here.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
There's um there's a nod to Bully Ray, even TNA, but also Ring of Honor. He just plays that the heel role. Fuck that. Even on fucking radio on the
On
radio
Busted
on
Open.
Busted Open, he's always the heel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He always thinks in the mindset of the heel. Great wrestling mind. And he may or may not be making an appearance this weekend in Indy.
Gonna be interesting.
He's got a new show that's going to be coming out on A&E, LFG Legends of Future Greats, along with another name that's on that list as one of the coaches, so to speak. So, going to be very excited to see that show once it debuts. And yeah, no, I mean, Bully definitely deserves his name on the top of the list.
All right, we got our second entrant is going to be Mr. Perfect.
I mean, dude, everybody wanted to be him. He was fucking great at everything. He could throw darts. He could, shoot hoops. He could hit a home run. He could throw a fucking football 50 yards downfield and catch his own pass for crying out loud. I mean, what could this guy not do? Um, except win the win the WWE championship. But that's neither here nor there. Definitely deserving being on this list because he was everything you wanted to be and more.
All right, we got number three. We got Seth Rollins.
I'm not gonna argue with his place on the list because if you think back to the authority days when he was running rampant with that laughter of his, that cackle screams heel. And like just to me, I think I might be one of the few, but I think Seth Rollins functions better as a heel
Oh
than
yeah,
he does babyface. Like,
he's on that Randy Orton plane. Like Randy Orton is great, is good baby, but he's great heel.
I
Like
mean,
he's on
like
that.
you look at a lot of his feuds that he has right now, and he's the babyface, and it's like he's over with the fans, like with the music. But like as soon as he has a confrontation with like a CM Punk, or hell, even like his interactions with Drew McIntyre or
He
Sami
made
Zayn,
he
like
made he makes Drew look like a baby, like a baby
I
face.
mean, like the fans are more behind the other wrestlers whenever it's those interactions versus actual Seth. Like he's got a catchy theme music. Everybody loves doing oh. But outside of that, how do you resonate with Seth Rollins the person? It's like there's a disconnect there. And it's like I want to care about you, but you don't really give me anything to work with as far as Seth Rollins the person. Like Seth Rollins the heel on the other hand, trying to get the other hand upper hand and trying that I can at least identify with as like, hey, I know your motives and like I see what you're doing.
I have this feeling that they try to keep him face because of Becky. Oh, excuse me. I think Becky is such a huge is a huge draw where they don't want him to be so slimy and evil to where they go out and do PR and it's like ugh, like how can they kind of treat it like, well, if she's a face, he got to be a face. Try to keep it like together.
Okay, I'll give you a perfect example, and then yeah, because I don't want to hold up the our heel rumble too long. But like, perfect case in point was the whole interaction with him and CM Punk about like him conveying his reasoning of why he hates CM Punk and you know, why he's trying to implore the WWE fan base to get behind him and not get behind Punk. And it's like it came off more as whiny and it's like, "Oh, you abandoned me. Oh, you abandoned this company, but you abandoned me." And like all this other shit. It didn't come off as like a genuine babyface like, "Hey, I'm looking out for you guys." It was more him demanding like, "Love me, don't love him." And it just came off as more of like a screaming and rah. It's like again, it's like how am I supposed to side with you? Or
Yeah,
how am I supposed to connect with you as like Seth Rollins a person when you're just coming off as a whiny bitch? Like that's more heel than it is babyface.
that is true. Um, the next couple people don't need no really. They're just heels. You got the Honky Tonk Man coming in at number 4.
Love to hate.
Bobby Roode, if Bobby Roode in TNA was ultimate heel, when you got into NXT, he was a heel, but that music was so over. It
Glorious.
was so glorious. Kane,
We really don't need to talk much about Kane, but like my favorite Kane moment is when he fucking threw Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, like basically took his wheelchair and fucking just threw him off the Raw stage after Eve Torres, who he was sort of like flinging with, flirting with, or whatever, makes out with John Cena in the ring, and it's like the ultimate betrayal. And that was like to pour salt on the wound. Here comes Kane to fuck him up even more.
yeah, it's Kane has it's the history of Kane. We have probably the most diabolical person on this list, Jake the Snake Roberts. Um, if you're our age, you will know it's just a cobra on Macho Man's fucking bicep.
Hmm.
It's just that it is just so that it and how he just talks when
And
he's
how he just laid there. Well, like after the Cobra bites down on Randy, how he just lays down in the middle of the ring across from him and just laughs and is like really eats into it even more. And just like the like goddamn, like Jake was never truly appreciated in his day as far as just being a master psychologist, or like a master of wrestling psychology,
oh
and
yeah,
that unlike Seth Rollins, where I have to scream and yell and whine to get my point, I can just sit here and talk to you in the most quiet, they're just the most, where I
mundane.
really have to lean in to hear what you have to say, but at the same point in time, it's like Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly but carry a big stick. Like Jake wasn't about screaming and yelling, but he definitely conveyed his message with the impact of a yell. Like
Then talking about the Macho Man, or the Macho King.
the Macho King. Well, I was gonna say, I almost like when you had sent me the list, I was like, are we gonna talk about Macho King? But if you really think of when Macho Man made his debut in the WWF and just the shit that he was doing there, but even going back before that, when he was in Louisville and when he had his run in Memphis with Jerry Lawler and everything, just like true heel, like just a
NWO,
wild man that was unpredictable.
NWO, maybe molesting Steph, may hearsay. After the Macho Man, we got Edge, which
The
is
ultimate opportunist.
yep, which probably made the Money in the Bank what the Money in the Bank is, to say the truth. And then my hero, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. He's actually our first heels winner contest winner. Um, and then we don't have to go too far.
I mean,
We
definitely one of the best gimmicks.
yeah, it, it it's
Yeah.
it still works. Well, it can't work
Yeah.
today. It can't work today, but it will work.
Yeah, it can work today. I mean, granted,
You
we're
cannot
like
go get
15.
you can't get an African American kid out of the stands and tell him to dribble the ball 10 times and then kick it. You can't do it. You can't do it.
You could, but it would be more like jackass type stuff. Like you probably find some random idiot to go and do a jackass stunt with the premise of, "Hey, I'm going to pay you," and then it's like, "Oh, well, nope, sorry. See, here's a loophole." Like, no, you could still figure out a way to do it. I mean, shit. 15 years ago, you got JBL, which is basically Million Dollar Man 2.0. Was it done as well as the original Million Dollar Man? No, but it was still resonated in 2010, or like 2008, 2009, and it
Yeah,
still could resonate today.
yeah. He just can't have his gimmick of having
No.
the black valet and doing the shit that you're doing to the fucking. You can't have that. Um, then we have at number 11 we have Kevin Owens. basically this guy has backstabbed everybody.
Pretty much. And you know what? Like, dude, you want to talk about being one of the hottest heels on the roster right now? I mean, like, look, this is a guy that has been with WWE since what, 2014? I know he made his main roster debut in
No,
2015, but like
he was.
dude's been with the company for over 10 years and he is as relevant, if not more relevant now than he's ever been. And Kevin Owens, for long stretches of his career, has been relevant. So I mean, like he's one of the hottest heels on the company right now.
I think
Like
even like when people like, oh, they don't have no storylines for him. I think he always stayed relevant. I mean, he was so good at what he does.
he's and whether he's a face or a heel, and like I do think that he works better as a heel,
Oh yes.
but like he's very quick-witted. He's got great comedic timing. He just knows the right thing to say and the right thing to do. Dude, his fucking callbacks too. I love this fucking gimmick that he's running right now where he wears like sarcastic shirts to the ring.
Oh,
Like, dude, when he came out in Saturday Night's Main Event this past week and he had the Cody Sucks Eggs shirt, and that was and you had Dory Funk in the crowd. There's like one of the guest legends, but like the callback to Terry Funk, who we may or may not see on this list or in this match here. But like just the callbacks and everything, like I fucking love it. Like it's just those little things like that that go show Kevin Owens is smarter than almost everybody else in wrestling right now.
when he's a face, it's with Sammy. When he's with Sammy, it's so good to have that face with them two together. But fuck, you got it. It makes great matches, great TV as him stabbing everybody in the back. But just like how we said that he likes to stab in the back and he likes to be an ultimate opportunist, he goes ahead and when he gets in the ring, he says, "Fuck this shit." He gets Jake the Snake and throws him out. He's like, "Fuck it." Like we got too many fucking people in this ring. Let's start norming them down. Then he goes looking and goes, "You're not perfect, perfect." He's out. And then now we got our field back, relative to 9 people right now. And then next on our list to make appearance is going to be Roddy Piper.
The
Um,
massive heel of the mid '80s.
yeah, and then we got the massive heels of the 2000s, Randy Orton, which is we've said multiple times he is better a fucking heel. I wish they go back to PG-13 where they can do his dastardly heel stuff, but
I will throw this caveat out there. I've never connected with Randy Orton as a babyface until his return at Survivor Series. And like that stretch that they utilized him the past like year and a half, 2 years. Like if you're gonna book Randy Orton as a face, especially in this day and age, that's how you do it. The fact that he has earned that much cachet, being a veteran of WWE as long as he has, like it makes sense, or like the way they booked him, and I think you can see the difference with Triple H at the helm. Triple H knows how to book Randy to
oh
get the
yeah.
most out of him as a baby face, but fucking great heel.
Talking about Triple H, Triple H.
Hey,
It goes for to say. I mean, shit. That's
I mean, if Edge is the ultimate opportunist, then Triple H is god level opportunist.
no. You married the fucking the boss's daughter. You take care of the booking. You book yourself. You overbook. Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh no, like when they did the first draft, oh no, SmackDown now has the WWE champion exclusively. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna create our own belt from Monday Night Raw, and we're gonna award this to Triple H. We're not gonna have any matches or anything to crown a champion, but you know what, Triple H, you're the champ. You're the guy.
Well, with that, action going in the ring. You got people going against each other. But the honky tonk man, he likes to like struggle his hips, right? He just likes to wiggle his hips while he's just trying to play up to the crowd, get the booze. Um, KO says fuck this shit, gives him a fucking stunner. Honky tonk man just trying to get up. Seth Rollins comes in with a stomp, and then Kane just said fuck this shit, picks him up one hand, choke slam him over the fucking rope. So honky tonk, he's gone.
I gotta be surprised. I gotta say, I'm surprised that Honky Tonk Man lasted this long.
Yeah, I wanted, I, dude. I had a whole new story. I'm gonna tell you this after, but I wanted certain things to happen, and it didn't happen because I had a great story, but it didn't happen. Um, with that, Dirty Dom comes into the mix, which is
Chorus of booze.
our two-time heel of the year, the last 2 years. Um, after Dom gets in, Bully Ray gets before everything happened. Million Dollar Man and Bobby Roode kind of gets together and starts forming and teaming up, and they're teaming up and they start dumping people. Bully Ray gets dumped out by Bobby Roode and Ted DiBiase, but Roode sits there, keeps looking at at Bully Ray and the Million Dollar Man, who is an evil son of a bitch himself. You don't turn your back on Million Dollar Man. Throws Bobby Roode out. He is now gone. Um, so now we got 10 people in this thing. We get a couple more people in. We get Sergeant Slaughter, but Sergeant Slaughter that hails for Iraq.
Hmm.
I think that was probably before Hogan turned heel. That is probably the most drastic heel turn that they had. Like, because there's like Sergeant Slaughter. Like, what?
Well, like unless you're an older wrestling fan, and I mean I'm talking about going back to like the real early '80s. Sergeant Slaughter was a heel in his original run with the WWF.
Yes,
He
but then
left, and then when he came back as a face because of everything that was going on with GI Joe and all of that. And so, yeah, you
GI Joe
basically.
made him a super over baby face,
Hmm.
and then
But
Iraq
yeah,
War
then
starts.
the
Is like,
whole Iraqi
come
sympathizer thing,
back.
we needed to heat up another heel for Hogan. Um, that was one of those things like, ooh, was it in poor taste? Was it, especially with everything going on with the Gulf War? But it's like still like, dude, you want to talk about genuine hatred and drawing genuine hatred from the fans. Like, holy shit. The dude had to wear fucking flak jackets under his ring gear because there was fear that he might get stabbed or shot. Like, it was fucking crazy.
So this crowd it got a nice little mix in the ring, and then Kevin Sullivan comes down the aisle.
Now, he makes this list based off of all the shit that he did in Florida. Because, in all honesty, if we're talking about WCW Kevin Sullivan, the dude was a joke and did not get treated with the proper respect that he should have been.
No, but
But, like,
he's such a heel. He booked his own fucking divorce on television. Greatest heel. But guess what? Kane sees him coming down the aisle, and Kane says like, "Oh hell no!" Kevin Sullivan tell him comes in. Kevin Sullivan goes out.
so
Kane's like,
basically, we are getting WCW Kevin Sullivan in
"No, no."
this match. Okay, cool.
Kane's like, "Nope." I'm like, hell no. He started doing the hell no chant. Like, hell no. Coming in the ring, we got Prince Devitt. And for y'all that don't know who Prince Devitt is, that is Finn Balor of New Japan Wrestling, the first leader of the Bullet Club.
Hmm.
Um, is he worthy of being a heel on this list? Heel, kind of, but his current work, I love his current heel persona. But in New Japan, that was so huge because he was so over as a babyface that when he did this, it rocked New Japan. It to this day, the reason what he did is still been being felt in New Japan, AEW, everywhere where you have Bullet Club, even in WWE.
I mean, just like wrestling culture impact, like Bullet Club was the biggest non WWE creation
Yeah.
um in that time frame, and the fact that it was so over with the fans. And then WWE Vince McMahon tried to replicate it years later. And I never understood why you didn't have more of a pairing, like because you could have done, the OG club or whatever. You could have done something with Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Gallows. Like you could have done something serious with that. It never, like they never put Devitt with them. It was just
Yeah.
like AJ and the tag team and like,
I
nah.
think they want to turn the knob on heel Balor yet, but yeah, it. Look at him in the Judgment Day. Be like, I think now they regret it. Yeah, maybe we should have done that. Um, our favorite person on the show, New Jack, comes into the ring.
Gee, how many guys does he stab in en route to the ring?
Um, we're smart. This is happening in a in an island because we don't need nobody. There's nobody here.
Yeah, no, it's like he checked for ice picks before he was able to enter the ring.
But unfortunately, Randy, your favorite wrestler, gets tossed over by Randy Orton. Randy Orton just takes the opportunity and goes, "Yep, you gotta go." And then on that part, Edge gets sleazy Dom. Dom
Oh,
gets out the ring and he goes, he's just sitting outside the ring. And freaking Edge comes and goes on the rope a little bit and he just pulls that rope down and Edge is out. Oh,
well,
no, no.
that's spoiler alert.
Yep. And then the same way too, $1 Million Man, Dom knocks him out too, pulls on the rope. Dom's just being sleazy, sleazy as he can be. Um, these next three uh, don't need no introduction into heels because we talk so much about them. We have number 20, Rick Rude, 21, Ric Flair, and 22, Hollywood Hogan.
Uh, yeah, I really, really don't have to say much about
Much.
it. Now, I
Yeah.
would say, just real quick, if there was like a weakest of the three, maybe say Hollywood Hogan. He had the biggest wow moment when he turned heel. But if you just want to talk about his strength as a heel in the long run,
Oh,
definitely did not have the staying power as Rick,
he's a
as
big heel
actually
now.
Hogan.
He's a big heel now.
And all he had to do was be himself.
I feel sorry
He didn't even have to turn it up to 11. He just had to be himself. That's it.
I feel sorry for Hart in that moment. But with this, we're gonna have some things. Sergeant Slaughter, Dom does it again. He gets fucking Sergeant Slaughter. New Jack, he's gone. Prince Devitt's like, we don't need these weapons. We don't need this. Let's get him out. Prince Devitt eliminates New Jack. Rick Rude gets Ric Flair. He just he just gets Ric Flair into a freaking like into his move, kits him.
The dirtiest player. You eliminated the dirtiest player in the game. 12, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
with that, Kane says, "You know what? I don't like your beer, Hogan. You're out." So we got and then while he's pulling Hogan out, he's still on the ropes, and then Dom just comes from behind and just dumps Kane's out. So Kane's out too. So we got we're clearing out this ring because we got some heavy hitters coming out right now. We got at number 23 MJF,
Mm,
24 Vader.
mm.
We have the Undertaker. Now this is the one where you said really the Undertaker, and I was like, you gotta go back to when he debuted as the Undertaker, and that heel run he made in the beginning of his career was phenomenal.
I will say my only point of contention when we were putting the list together when you sent me the initial names 2 weeks ago it was like, okay, but like over the longevity of his career, how is he remembered? Is he remembered more as a face or more as a heel? Now, to your point, yes, he was a big heel when he first debuted, and it was just one of those things that like a lot of young fans questioned: Is this dude really a zombie? Like, 'cause nothing could fucking keep him down. It was like Night of the Living Dead. And then you could even go to like the ministry and the corporate ministry time and say, okay, yeah, he had a bit of a heel run there. Big Evil, when he went from being the American badass to then being a heel as the biker gimmick. But I mean, over the course of the majority of his career, what is he going to be remembered as? I think he was going to be remembered more so as a face than a heel. But I digress. For the sake of this heel rumble, yes, we have the OG Dead Man here,
And the Iron Sheik,
Shiki baby.
which probably now he's more post death, more face than ever.
Dude, he was so faced by the time he retired from like full-time wrestling. And like just between everything with Howard Stern,
His
um
fucking Twitter was fucking phenomenal.
yes, his Twitter game was on point. Between that, one of my fondest memories is the gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania X7 or WrestleMania 17, and like just the fact that the only reason why he won the gimmick battle royal was because he couldn't go over the top rope. Just like it's a very, very cheeky thing to do.
Well, we're going to have some eliminations. We're going to get Seth Rollins says, you know what, him and Rowdy's going at each other, and he goes, finally gets Roddy out. Um, MJF goes, he gets mad at Rick Rude because he's like, I wanted to face Ric Flair. And so they go at it, and MJF eliminates Rick Rude. And then we got Taker saying, yeah, I'm the only big man in here. Vader's out. And
And
guess what? Shiki Baby gets out by the Taker as well.
I'm gonna say real quick in regards to Vader. God damn, did WWE
Fuck
do
that
him
up.
a service? Now, granted, part of that is on Vader too, because I don't think Vader was at his peak form in WWE like he was, say, in WCW or in Japan. Like, I do kind of feel like he let himself go a bit. But at the same point in time, WWE did him no favors in trying to like really get him over as that monster heel. I mean, like, look, that match with Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam, that was the death nail. Like, he was done after that, and nothing they could do would turn him around.
So we got number 27. We got Christopher Daniels of TNA fame, which is what I read was the greatest heel in TNA history. I need to get talked to by Kurt on Saturday about that. But
I know he was the fallen. I know he had the fallen angel gimmick, and I got to be honest, especially like I guess when he had his run as a heel in TNA. I only saw matches like best of matches, like best of the X division and
yeah,
shit like that. But like um as far as like his true heel work, I don't really have much to go on.
yeah, that's a
But this is a TNK honorable mention right here.
yeah that he's in. I said we gotta get some TNA people in here, so that's one of them. Our current heel champion Raven is now into the mix. Like we said, if you want to go back, you can go back on Spotify, listen to our last heel episode talking about Raven. Or actually, was it on? Yeah, it was on Spotify.
Mhm.
Um, it's a great bracket. Like I said, it was a March Madness bracket. Um, don't have to really say much about Raven, but We were talking about how KO likes to stab people in the back, his buddies. His current buddy, one of his current buddies is Randy Orton, right? Stabs him in the back, throws him
Nah.
over. You gotta see it coming. You gotta see it
Mhm.
coming.
Out of
Eddie
nowhere.
Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is now the number 29th in this field and number 30. Oh, nope. Did I get that
Well, we know
wrong?
who's eliminated next.
Well, Prince Devitt gets eliminated by Dom. I got my thing wrong here. Oh shit. Okay. So Prince Devitt's gone, and then we have Terry Funk into the mix. With that elimination with Devitt, you got Dom being really a dumbass, be like, "Come on, come on, bud, you're buddies, and Devitt's like, "Who the fuck are you? I don't know you." And
Huh.
then fucking Dom just like dumps him out. Um, Real quick, if you know Eddie Guerrero, Guerrero is probably one of great heels, great gimmicks. But the one I want to talk about is Terry Funk because if you're ECW days, he is probably the greatest babyface, one of the top three babyfaces in ECW history. Hardcore legend. He has that, people love him. But WCW, his run with Flair going and in NWA and WCW was phenomenal as a heel. You people wanted to hate him, wanted to
Even
kill him.
even even his WWF days, and like a lot of people forget that he was in the Federation in the mid to late '80s. Not long, but he was there, and he was a feud for Hogan. So I mean, like, no Terry Funk, but more so his WCW days, especially some of the rivalries that he had with Flair and everything else. Like, no man, legitimate heel.
So that's our last of our 30. So now we just got eliminations coming up. Um, KO and Seth Rollins kind of teams up to take out a couple people. They take out Triple H.
Kind of surprised that we didn't see like more from Evolution and the Authority. More teamwork from them in this match.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Hmm.
um, so KO and Seth Rollins teams up and they take out the Undertaker because hey, he's the biggest one there. You got to get rid of him. And then Seth Rollins because what does KO do? Stabs people in the back. Seth
Yep.
Rollins is out. So we get to our what is it? Our one, two, three, four, five, six. Our last six of in the field, and then MJF just goes on a tear. He's like Christopher Daniels. Bye. I made six. Last six. Made it a little bit bigger. I forgot about that. MJF throws out Christopher Daniels. He tells the old man, "You're an old man. This is a young man's game." Terry Funk is gone. So in our final five, we do have Kevin Owens, Dom, MJF, and Guerrero. So right now to the top for the five. How do you feel about that?
Um, I don't hate it. I mean, like, if you kind of think about it, it's a nice contrast of styles. You got, Dirty Dom, and then, the person who he believes to be his true father and Eddie Guerrero, that are in there. I mean, Raven, our previous winner, he's got to defend his belt. MJF, I will say this, and you might think it's crazy for me being as big of an MJF mark as I am, but I would say the weakest of the five right here, right now, is MJF. And that's just the way that AEW has been booking him in the last like couple of months. Like he had a great in-ring segment with Jeff Jarrett like 2-3 weeks ago, and then they just kind of dropped it. It's like and MJF's just kind of floundering there, and it's like it's one thing. It's great that he was loyal to AEW and he got himself tattooed and everything like that. But at the same point in time, what is AEW doing for him right now?
Nothing. But
And then Kevin Owens, I mean, like we talked about it earlier when he jumped into this match, that like he's probably the hottest heel on WWE's roster right now. So
bro, Raven has your same sentiments. MJF is the weakest, and so our final four we have Kevin Owens, Dirty Dom, Raven, and Eddie Guerrero. So Dirty Dom starts like panicking. He sees the four and he's like, oh, like sees Kevin Owens, he sees Raven, and then he just turns to Eddie and goes, "Hi, papi," and Eddie turns and goes, "Oh, mijo," and shed some fake tears, and he goes, "I should never." He falls to his knees to Dom and goes, "I should never left you with Ray. He was a terrible father." And he goes, "I need beg you for forgiveness." And then Dom comes, reaches, go gives him a hug. Eddie Guerrero hits him in the fucking nuts. Dom is out. And then we got our final three. I'm trying to look to make sure I'm missing something here. No, okay, back here. Um, then we got Kevin Owens, Raven, Eddie Guerrero. Um, Eddie Guerrero just goes after Raven. Kevin Owens going after Raven, but Eddie Guerrero, they get him over. Raven is eliminated from this match. So our final two is Kevin Owens and Eddie Guerrero. And I think we could go any way with this. Your thoughts?
I know who I would want to win, but knowing that you put this together, I don't know. I see a curveball coming here. I would say like, all right, again, one of two ways that this goes, and knowing you, Eddie Guerrero lies, cheats, and steals. He ends up winning the match. Me just going off of personal sentiment of like, I mean, I've said it several times, like who's been like one of the best heels as of late, and who's been like one of the best heels just overall in their career. It's been Kevin Owens. There we go. All right. I was about to say, good.
Yeah, I I figured that it's time for his due, and I was like, I was looking at back at his career, and I think when we started doing a lot of like, I went back and just started thinking about how we were going with heels, and Eddie Guerrero was like, we really didn't go too much on Eddie, and I think he needs his due, but dude, just going back and looking at Kevin Owens' career and his heel turns and how he just portrays himself, yeah, right now he overtakes. If we had to redo, like, if last year ended now, I would put him as our top heel. I mean, this past month has been great heel work for him. So like,
Oh, absolutely.
so yeah,
Absolutely.
he's going to be our reigning heels champion, and then we'll figure something else in the future. See what happens. We have three now, so we got our top three heels are going to be DiBiase, Raven, and Kevin Owens. So maybe we need to get a fourth one in, and we can have like, oh no, we need six. Do elimination chamber of our top heels at some point.
Well, we could do a fatal four way after we get four, and then we could do like a 5-pack challenge when we get five, and then we could do the elimination chamber for six. I mean, like we figure out ways around this.
Yeah. Um. So yep, that's our Raging Heel Rumble winner. But speaking about this imaginary Rumble, who do you have as a favorite in the men's Royal Rumble this weekend?
I will say this. What I love with what WWE has done in regards to this year's Rumble is you have made legitimate arguments for a multitude of people as to why they can win it. I think when you look at how great of a job they've done building up CM Punk, um, as great of a job as they've done building up Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, um, Sami Zayn. I mean, like the list kind of goes on as far as like each of these people have a viable reason of why you could legitimize them winning and you could legitimize building a program going into Mania. I love the fact that like this year it truly is unpredictable as far as who's going to be in the match. Now, before we go to the men or before we talk about the men's, I'm gonna sidestep that for a moment and talk about um the WWE championship match between Kevin and Cody. Much like they've done a great job of building up potential winners of the men's championship or the men's Royal Rumble, they've done a phenomenal job of building up this rivalry and making you think that Kevin Owens has a legitimate chance of winning that match. All right. Now, I say that in a sense of like realistically, I think Cody retains. And one of two things is going to happen. Kevin loses that match, enters the Royal Rumble. He enters the Royal Rumble. Who have we not seen in a while that is due to come back? Randy
Cody,
Orton,
Cody and Orton at WrestleMania.
possibly. I'm not but I
I
mean, but
like
that's
that.
the thing is like there's so many different ways and avenues that you can go about it. It's not like years past when you're like, okay, it's realistically going to be A or B. Like, yeah, there's 30 men in the field, but realistically, there's only two people that could win this match.
You
Like,
say that.
you
You say
literally
that.
have
You
so
say
many
that.
storylines.
You say that. I actually could see Randy interfering in the match.
That's the other thing too, is like
But how about with this? I can piggyback on that one because this would be far fetched. It's far fetched. But let's say like how you said it with with Kevin Owens. Let's say Kevin Owens wins and then Cody goes back in the Rumble.
yeah, and then there's that aspect too. I like
Great.
as much as I would love for Kevin Owens to win, to legitimize him as like a true heel and like to keep that rivalry going longer. I think it hurts Cody's momentum more if he loses at the Rumble and then like goes back and wins the Rumble. It's like I don't want to see him win the Rumble 3 years in a row.
True. True.
I feel like you need to get new blood. Like if you want me to give a prediction for who I think is going to win the men's Rumble, I think you have to go with Punk. And the only reason why I say that is because as hot as he is right now, you also have to worry about age, potential injuries, everything like that. It's like as hot as Punk has been, like basically he's like Jesus right now. He's walking on water. He's so over with the fans, he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and they don't care. Like they're still going to be behind him. I feel like you kind of have to capitalize on that now and build that, and build the money match for Mania. Um,
See, as much as I would like to see Punk win it, back in my head keeps thinking about the deal with him
and Heyman.
and Heyman, where God, I hope not. I hope not, because I'll cry. But Reigns might win this,
See, and
and
and and
then
and that's the other thing is that the smart money might be Roman, but then are we going to get Roman and Cody at Mania for a third year in a row? And it's
no,
like,
you're gonna get Roman, Cody, Punk.
But again, you're still getting Roman Cody part 3 with an added element of, oh, we have a third person in the match. I just, to me, I kind of feel like that's
The thing is money. You got to follow the money, and the money
well,
is
yeah.
Punk, Roman, and Cody. All three of those are your top. That's your top money. That's going to get you the most money. So that 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 thing. But dude, like how this is progressing, dude. I you know I can see Roman not being in the main event and also be facing your boy
I mean, you gotta have. I mean, you gotta have The Rock and Roman at some point.
I think the Rock. I don't think the Rock's going to be at WrestleMania. I don't think he's. I don't think he.
Well,
I think schedule wise, it's going to be a conflict. But I could see your boy. Oh my God, why?
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, because how he's just it's just rolling
Dude, you want
on.
to
It's
talk?
just
You want to
going.
talk about a star-making moment? I mean, granted, he was already a star, but like that match with Braun Strowman, Braun understood the assignment, and Braun put him over massively.
Yes, yes. It it was just that was a beautiful wrestling moment. How Braun just put him over so perfectly. Um, but yeah, with you on
Any big surprises that you're expecting for the men's rumble?
no, well, I had my prediction that Joe Hendry would be in the Royal Rumble, but he also was booked for the Chris Jericho cruise. I don't know.
We were talking about this off there though. It is still possible to do both.
It's possible, but I don't know. I
Um,
don't know. I hope everyone hopes because we love to hear that music coming out because I think that whole fucking stadium is gonna fucking rock it.
I was gonna say, I feel like Bully Ray, or actually, since it's WWE, is gonna be Bubba Ray Dudley. Is probably gonna be making an appearance. At least he's been teasing as much on Busted Open. But I was gonna say, are there any like NXT appearances you think we might see?
I think you're basic. You're gonna have you probably Ethan Page. He'll probably weasel his way in. Your boy who lost the championship. God damn, I am.
Right?
Yeah, Trick Williams. Maybe Femi. Dude, I'm telling you this right now. Femi versus Braun Breaker and Femi versus Jacob Fatu. I want it, and I want it now. I want it now.
Patience,
Um,
buddy. Patience.
no, the big surprise. I won't be shocked. Mark Henry's in it. I won't be shocked if
He has been popping up quite a bit over the last few
I
weeks.
won't be shocked. I like to see oh, I did hear that old boy will be in it. What's his name? We haven't seen him on TV for a fucking forever. Uh, Tall guy.
Oh, Omos.
Omos is supposed to be in it. That'd be interesting. Omos versus Mark Henry stare down.
Hmm. I
Um,
don't know though. Mark's been battling back issues the last few months. So unless he's gotten that straight, gotten that right.
I think it'll be maybe a quick Omos elimination, eliminating Mark Henry. I don't know. Oh, look, it's Indianapolis. Pat McAfee, again, will be in there.
See, but I get it, and it'll get a big pop from the indie crowd, but at the same point in time, you got so many you got like so many like viable people in there. I don't necessarily think you need a throwaway. Like I would, at least I would hope not, but we'll see.
Go when you get a chance. Go on YouTube, and they have like the wrestler reactions to the Royal Rumble for last year.
I watched that.
And
Wow.
Don was shit on fucking.
Well, it's only fair because Pat shits on Dom all the time.
And I just,
I love their fucking rivalry.
I
I
just,
love it.
I just like, oh, that's fucking great. But
What
now,
about the women's side? Because I know this was something else that we talked about,
well,
but
first thing I'm gonna give my prediction on the men's side is going to be, I have this feeling, I don't have one person, but you're right, Punk, Reigns, Cena.
Rollins.
No,
I
I,
mean, like they've stated the case. I don't necessarily think he's a favorite, but they've stated the case for him. I
you know, I'll go on a limb. McIntyre,
I would love that.
because I mean, he has this thing like if he's going after everybody that helped Roman.
And
Cody's the last
Drew
one.
and Drew was my pick for the heel of 2024. Remember that. I was just gonna say,
I understand that, but it's just like, but Dom was just so dirty.
yeah.
Uh,
No, real quick, because I know you're about to have to wrap up here in a bit, though. On the women's side of things,
look,
you and I are kind of both in agreement of who we think is most likely going to win.
my 2025 predictions was that Jordan Grace would be in the Royal Rumble and will win the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna pull back on that and goes more and more if I think about it and more I fucking hate it. Uh, yeah, Charlotte Flair
Ooh.
probably going to be the winner.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, and I sincerely hope that with Triple H
But
in the reins now, that well no, but I sincerely hope that Triple H at the helm now, we really steer into Charlotte as the mega boss heel that she is and was born to be. I don't need to see babyface Charlotte. It's just pick a side of the coin and stick with it. She's a fucking heel.
I do say this because this woman did play second the last 2 years in a row. Liv has a case in this too. Because has it really been over with her and Rhea? You know, but
I
I see Flair or I see freaking EST
Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair, but then I don't see. I hear rumors about Belair and Ripley, and I'm like,
They
Cargo has to be coming back, and that has to be you did the storyline, the storyline. This has to pay off somewhere.
I feel like Jade comes back. I also feel Becky Lynch comes back. Um,
I know who's not coming
Naomi,
back.
eh, who
Alexa Bliss.
she's not going to be there.
She was supposed to be back. She was supposed to be back in early January, but she's in contract negotiations to have um, back and forth contract negotiations with her and WWE.
Well, they're still trying to figure out everything with the Wyatt Six, and think of it like this: like Wyatt Six are now being moved to SmackDown. We still haven't seen.
But what's his name is not with them on SmackDown. Supposedly, um,
Rotunda.
Rotunda is still on Raw, from what I
That's
heard. From what I heard,
mm,
I don't what I heard. That's what I read and I was reading stuff, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. But
unless well, like the only thing I'm thinking of is like maybe they're trying to like figure out how to reincorporate Alexa, and the way they reincorporate her also plays into what's going on with everything with the Wyatt Six. The other thing too is they might have decided they didn't have anything storyline wise for her until Rumble. And so maybe it makes more sense rather than just bring her back to bring her back and then not have really much of anything for her. Wait until the Rumble and then start building something for her. So,
yeah,
um,
but yeah, I think Charlotte. But I think Dark Horse would be Liv.
do you think we get? Well, I've also I've also heard rumblings that Nikki Bella is potentially coming back. I'm also genuinely curious if we see a one night off return from AJ Lee.
I've been hearing rumblings about that, but I think
Like not coming back full time, but like as a one off for the women's rumble.
I think if she comes back, it's going to be full time. I think there's oh man, there's so many storylines you can do with AJ Lee and CM Punk, and
I mean, there is, but like, and like we've talked about that before. But I also think like if she's like tied up with other projects, this is kind of a good entry point just to like get her feet wet again and see if
I
it
would
is something that she would want to commit to
I
on even
wouldn't
like a part time
I
basis.
wouldn't mind WrestleMania weekend, maybe not Saturday or Sunday, but maybe Friday night SmackDown. Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee.
Hmm.
Just do it like a once off Diva title. Bring back the Diva title and be like,
Oh man! Oh, we're gonna do it. No, we're gonna do it a Saturday night's main event, just like we brought back the Winged Eagle. We'll bring back the Divas Championship for one night only.
and then it continues. But no, yeah, I still got some time. Um, it's just I really don't know what to. Is this the first Royal Rumble that you really can't like point and be like the only one is Charlotte, but I don't know if they might go a different way. I'm hoping they go a
You could
different way, but I mean
you
like
could still go a variety of different ways because if you look at like you have really interesting dynamics with your two champions on the brands. I love the meme that people have been sending out of like WWE Women's Champions be like Wednesday, like the Netflix show Wednesday, where you have one and Rhea Ripley that's like the dark, brooding Wednesday Adams, and then you have Tiffany Stratton, Pretty in Pink Princess, like her roommate on the show, the werewolf. Can't think of her name, but no, it really is an interesting dynamic of your two champions, and it's like you with the several possibilities that you have out there, it's like you could take any of those names and match them up with either champion and build a pretty interesting story. I mean, we say Charlotte Flair because of the hoopla that's around it, and it's just automatically assumed that she's going to come back and immediately be pushed to the top. But I mean, I would say that as predictable as the women's rumble is, it's very much unpredictable.
real quick before we go out, there's only four matches on this card, and let's talk about the fourth match, which I think is a nod for all four guys in this match. It's the 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. DIY Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. This is going to be something that they're going to show out. I
It's
think,
it's it's gonna be a curtain sellout. I can tell you that. I feel like you're gonna have a lot of the boys in the back that are gonna be out there to watch this match because it's gonna be fucking hard hitting. It's gonna be we're gonna see flippy doodah shit, but with enough psychology behind it where it fucking makes sense.
and I think it's also a
But
tip of
they're
the
gonna show out. They're gonna show out.
it's a tip of the tap because all four of these should have you know are great individual wrestlers, but as a tag teams, man, there's always a heart for DIY. NXT DIY, man, that's the fucking team. And I even like now, like the heel part of it, I'm like, yes, heel heel Champa is like one of the best. It's like going up to he's rising to the level of getting up there to be like he has to be a heel. You dude, because like when he was the NXT champion, had Goldie, and then Johnny Gargano, as great as a babyface, super over fucking babyface. But when he's heel, God, it's just so good.
They never. I mean, but like they never booked Johnny wrestling right as a face on the main roster.
No,
And like even when Triple H took over, they could never really figure it out. I do like the fact that they went heel with him. And I almost kind of wish that they would do kind of like how Gargano had, what was it, the way? I really wish they would bring a main roster equivalent to that on SmackDown. Like,
I kind of like how like Champa was trying to like turn him to like come this like turn to the dark side, come to it
if you
just
want to win and you want to be successful, you got to
got to
do it
do
my
it.
way.
And I just love the build up and everything. And God, like I'm big Tommaso Ciampa fan. Big, good. Like in NXT, I love their runs. I could watch all their old shit over and over again. I just love them. And Motor City Machine Guns, dude. Like they're one of the best tag teams in the last 20 years. I mean, that's not named the Usos or the fucking New Day
Yeah,
or the Revival or whatever it's called now. I don't know what
FTR.
FTR, but or the Lucha Bros. Um,
Speaking of Lucha Bros, you think Penta's gonna show out in the Rumble match?
Penta, if you want to see a high spot, it's gonna be Penta, and it's gonna be that little motherfucker. Uh, what's his fucking name? His brother. His brother boxes.
Ray Phoenix?
No, his
Oh, Logan Paul.
Paul.
Logan Paul.
Dude, don't get old. I keep forgetting fucking names left and right. It's gonna be
I'm gonna have to start providing you with a chart
hey
and be like,
no everybody out there,
find the name on the list.
everybody out there. No, no, you can make this a drink game. Whenever Rampage Ramsey forgets a name, take a drink,
No,
take a
dude,
shot.
like we're, we're not promoting alcohol poisoning on this show, dude.
But real quick, I just want to say to the audience, this was a little quick. I wish I could have done this PowerPoint a little bit better and more presentation, but
I
I'm on
mean,
a huge.
to be fair too, I'm not making it any easier because, like I kind of said at the beginning of the podcast, like the last like 2 weeks, this is basically the home stretch into New Orleans hosting the Super Bowl next week, and so it's been really chaotic for me at work, and
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't.
just be able to hop on here for a bit, you know.
You know, I didn't want to put you in a bind either because I know you got Super Bowl week next week, but then you're also hosting all of us Saturday.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, I do that every year, and I fucking love it. That's just like get to hang out with the boys. We get to bet on the Rumble, and you
Hey,
know,
this thing. I was like, damn, I could go to Indianapolis with my go see my brother and my nephew and my sister-in-law, or go gamble in New Orleans for the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I'm going to New Orleans.
well, yeah, and like to be honest too, like that was one of those things that I negotiated with my boss too, because it was like, look, I will do anything you ask. I will work whatever schedule you need me to do. You know, if it's like 10, 12 hour days the entire week of Super Bowl, like I will do all of that. I'll even work Saturday morning if need be, but like I need the evening, afternoon, all that free for Rumble. And luckily I was able to get Saturday off and then I don't go back to work until late afternoon on Sunday. So it worked out perfect.
I have a feeling
By the way, what do you think of like this early start time for
you
the
know what
Rumble? Like
I
it's
got to tell
5 o'clock,
I got to tell
5
Kevin
o'clock
that.
Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. Like
Yeah, I got to tell Kevin that because I forgot it was going to be at 5 o'clock. I was like, damn, we have to we have to get a lot of shit out of the way before we get there. Like I told, you know what? Is there a UFC event Saturday night?
Yeah, that's the only reason why I can think of maybe why they're going
That's the only
early.
thing I think about, unless it's going to be like a long ass rumble. But like it's going, I see a 4 hour rumble, and it's going to be no.
By the way, real quick to touch on just on the length of it. What are your thoughts on like with Raw with Netflix and like the fact that on average it's been 2.5 hours? To me, I think it's perfect. And I know that like Triple H had said that like in an ideal world on Netflix, 2.5 hours. If you have the material where you can go longer, you go longer.
Yeah,
But I feel like the fact that they potentially could have gone longer on certain nights, but have chosen to stick to the 2.5 hour mark. I kind of feel like that's cool in a sense that it's like you keep the fans wanting more.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
I
was
think I
like,
think I think you gotta feel the mood of the temperature of the audience. If you start seeing like people backlashing on the internet, like, oh no, it's too short. Oh, we won't. Then you can, progress more. But it's also that buffer that no other organization ever had. That, all right. Oh, excuse me. If we run over, we run over. Not, but we're gonna try to stay in that 90-minute
well,
time frame.
because there was the story that came out about like, oh, Penta's like debut match went too long against Chad Gable, and like they ended up having to cut time from elsewhere. I'm like, cut time from what? They still went 2.5 hours. They could have, stretched it out if they needed to. Like that's
Yeah, that'll be a topic for our next conversation because I have my heart out. I have to go pick up kids from school. Because for some reason they get out of here in South Carolina at 140 something, at 150. I don't understand it. It's just, it felt like I just dropped them off. But all know that after the Super Bowl and shit, we'll get back on, talk about the aftermath of the Rumble, um, everything leading up to, like, hey, it's WrestleMania season, So we'll go through
it's gonna
with
make for
that.
some interesting shows in the coming months. So yeah.
Yeah. But for that, I am Rampage Ramsey,
Signing out. Ravishing Randy signing out. And we'll
and
see you on the flippity flop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
have a good Rumble weekend.